Hey there, I'm here just doing a repair on the new to me. You can kind of see it in the background, getting it put back together. 1049 stack wagon. It's, as you can probably tell, it's pretty well used, but it's in the price range I could afford. So what I'm doing is working on repairing, or I guess you could say replacing the brake booster. It's got a pretty good leak through the brake booster, so had to get a new one, and that's what I'm working on. So I'll show you what I got. All right, as you can see, it's a, like I said, fairly well used stack wagon, but it's still got some life in her. So here I've got a new, well, not new, but remanufactured brake booster installed. It's a A1 Cardon. It seems to be the only people that rebuild these things. Got it through Amazon. It's not exactly the right one. You can see it mounts up just right. And that, this brake line right here is going to go down to there with the appropriate fitting. I need to get a different port put into this thing because it needs to have a T to go to this guy and to that guy. And it's some sort of straight thread for a bleeder. And then on this end, it's got a port which is in the incorrect spot. So I'll show you the old one in a moment. The other thing that's not quite right on this is the size of the booster. I can't seem to find anything out there that's the right diameter diaphragm here. This one's like 11 and a quarter or so. And I'll put the part number in the video. I think it's, what is it? It's a A1 Cardon 52 dash. Well, let's go look. It's on the box. Anyways, I could have bought it direct through one of the stack wagon repair outfits, but they wanted between, 3 and 5 times the price of this one. There we go. 51-8002. Straight out of Amazon for, I think, $150, and then get a 20-some dollar, I think it was 35 actually, core back. So here you can see I've kind of got the old one taken apart to see what was wrong with it. So everything looks about the same here. I am missing this bleeder, but it was completely inaccessible anyways before, so it's not a showstopper. This appears to be the right, oopsies, this here appears to be the right port size, but as you can see here, I need to get, let me get it out of the vise here. I need to get this T here, which originally had this little, it appears to just be NPT that they had in there, so I don't really know if this is original or if it's something that's been hacked together. And then you'll remember the other one had a port on this end, and this old one doesn't. So that's kind of the minor mods I'll need to do, is get from one of these bleeder valves, which appears to have some kind of straight thread that mounts. This is what mounts in the reman, and so I need to figure out how to go from this thing to something here that I can screw a T into. I may just have to drill it out. I'm hoping to avoid that. So anyways, that's what I'm working on here. You can kind of see here, this diaphragm here is somewhere in the 10-inch range. That one's in the 11, but it does seem to mount up, and so I guess that means I'll have a little bit more brake assist with the larger diaphragm area. But basically, here's the guts of the thing, if you're curious. So this thing attaches to this diaphragm plate. So the differential pressure of the vacuum to atmospheric air is what assists at the end of this piston, and then this is what seals this kind of bearing, bushing bearing thing here. This O-ring seals to the ID of the bore of this guy down in there. I can't really see very well. There's the bore down in there. There's one lip seal here that's, I looked for replacement parts on these. There we go. I looked for replacement parts on these, but I couldn't find anything. And I know that brake fluid is a little bit more caustic than other fluids, so I can't just use any old seal I come across. I don't really want to screw with my brakes too much. Seem kind of important. So anyways, that's kind of how this thing works. You know, this slides back and forth. This isn't a master cylinder, but it's a slave cylinder. So the pressure from the master cylinder comes into this port, moves this slave cylinder back and forth to pressurize the brake system from this line. Then it gets distributed out from there. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. Like I said, I'm hoping that I can come up with a more elegant solution than having to disassemble this whole thing and drill this, on the new one, drill out the hole to be the same diameter as this, but I can't seem to find anything in the A1 Cardone list that's got the right fitting right here, so I may just have to make it work. So anyways, that's one of my projects I'm working on this thing to get her back up and running. What else? It's looking pretty good so far. I've got some, as you can see there's some hydraulic fluid leaking out of this orbit motor. That's hopefully just a simple seal kit to repair that. There's a lot of cracking hoses and things of that nature, but as far as I can tell, everything on it still works. I got it for a good deal. It drives around and all the hydraulics work, and it shifts through all the gears, and there's a 2-speed rear axle in it. That's working now. I got to figure out a window. That'll be something to figure out. Not sure what to do there. But anyways, it's definitely a fixer-upper. And yeah, we'll see how she does here come a few months. It's now February 29th. I guess it's a leap day, huh? So anyways, we'll be working on that. I think I'll probably be putting some new lights on it. There's the front panel. You can see the old style headlights. I've already started putting some LEDs onto it. Replace the single bulb back here with a couple nice bright LEDs to light things up. And I need to replace the seat cushions. They're pretty destroyed. That'll probably be more expensive than I want, but bouncing around in here all day without a seat cushion might be a little irritating. So yeah, I got a good amount of things to do on it, but right now I'm just trying to get everything functional so that if I had to pick up hay, I could. And that basically means repairing the brakes and making sure my fluids are good, and then fix whatever else I can before it's time for haying. So yeah, that's kind of the gist of it on this 1049 at the moment. It'll be, I'll definitely learn a lot more once we get out in the field and we're running and picking up hay, because that's usually when the problems show up. But luckily I've learned a lot from you can see in the background, I got an older pull type 1034 back there behind the baler. So I'll be keeping that one this year as a backup. But if all goes well with this thing, I'll be probably looking to sell that one. I guess we can go take a quick look at it. You know, it's also an older New Holland pole type, but if you haven't noticed, everything but my tractor is basically an older New Holland piece of equipment. So let's take a look at this thing real quick. So yeah, here's the 1034. It's definitely, it looks to be lower use than the 1049, you know, I mean, unless maybe somebody repainted this. It's still got some paint. It hasn't worn off in my use. I think last year I picked up several thousand bales with it. It's in pretty good shape. I think the only things I need to do to get this thing ready to go for the year is I really need to get kind of a piece of the tire chunking off down there. I don't know if you can kind of see it. So it could use some new tires. Got to do something about the second table trip. It's something mechanical's going on there that's causes it to start going up and then get stuck. So that's kind of irritating. Let's see here, if you can see it last year, you can kind of see right there, the second table cylinder. Finally quit messing around with that. I kept trying to R&R the cylinder and seals, and it was leaking a bunch, and that just was irritating me. So finally just went ahead and bought a new cylinder. So that's working well. Yeah, I mean, all in all, I think this thing's in pretty darn good shape. Plus I got this, you'll see it here in a moment, I got a electromechanical actuation system on it that allows me to bring the controls inside the cab via, you can see my wiring harness there that connects to my control box. I got a microcontroller in that box there, and that allows me to run this thing with the rear window closed on the Massey here. So that works out real well, because sometimes with my schedule I have to pick up hay at nighttime or in the evening, and that's not a lot of fun with all the bugs out flying in your eyes. So plus you get to keep the cab closed and the air conditioning nice. So that's kind of what's going on with that. So yeah, that's kind of the gist of what I've been working on with the 1049, and got some work I need to do on the baler back there. So it's always something, trying to get everything, maintained and back up in operating shape for next season, and try to do a couple improvement projects while I'm at it. So yeah, it's keeping me busy, and yeah, I'll try to film some more of this as I go along. Have a great day.